In this video, we're going to cover whether you should file for your Social Security benefits at age 66 or age 70, or maybe somewhere in between. We'll cover all the factors you need to consider when you make the decision for yourself, but first we need to go over a little bit of math that impacts how your benefits are calculated. The first thing that we need to remember is that your Social Security benefits are based on your earnings history. So when you go to file for your benefits, the Social Security Administration looks at all your earnings, all those years that you paid into Social Security. It adjusts them for inflation, and then it takes the average of the highest 35 years. If you have less than 35 years of work history where you've paid into Social Security, they don't take those fewer years. They take what you have and then add a bunch of years of zeros, which drag down your average. So if you have 20 years where you've paid into Social Security, they adjust those 20 years for inflation, then they add 15 years of zeros, and they take the average. They take that average indexed monthly earnings number, they take that number divided by 12 to get monthly earnings, and then they apply this formula to it to determine what your primary insurance amount is. Your primary insurance amount, that's the result of this math that they do behind the scenes, is the amount that you're entitled to if you file for benefits at your full retirement age. Your full retirement age is based on the year in which you were born. If you were born in 1954 or earlier, your full retirement age is 66. If you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67, and anything between those two dates, it's somewhere in between. Now, as I mentioned, if you file for benefits on your full retirement age, you're entitled to 100% of your primary insurance amount. If you file for benefits before your full retirement age, those benefits are haircut permanently for the rest of your life. And the way that the Social Security Administration figures this out is that for every month before your full retirement age, they haircut your benefits 0.05% for the first 3 years. If your full retirement age is 67 and you file at 62, then for any month after the first 36 months you file early, so in this case there'd be 2 extra years, 67, 62 is 5 years. The first 36 months, the haircut is 0.05%. The last 2 years, the haircut is 0.05%. So if your full retirement age is between 66 and 67, and you file for benefits on your 66th birthday, you'll get a little bit less than whatever your primary insurance amount is. Here's an example. Let's say that you're born in 1960. That makes your full retirement age 67 years old. Let's say that you add up all your earnings from the years that you've paid into Social Security. You apply the formulas, you do the inflation adjustment and so forth. You determine your primary insurance amount is $3,000 per month. Well, if you file on your full retirement age on your 67th birthday, you're entitled to $3,000 a month in benefits every single month for the rest of your life, plus the cost of living adjustment. But if you file at 66, that's 12 months early. So to apply the haircut, we multiply 0.05% by 12 months early, and multiply that amount by your primary insurance amount of $3,000. The result is that you'll wind up with $2,800 instead of $3,000 that you would have received by waiting until age 67. Now, as you might know, you can wait to file for benefits all the way up until your age 70. And for every month that you defer your benefits after your full retirement age, your primary insurance amount stays the same, but you get what are called delayed retirement credits. And those are worth 0.2% per month. So that means that every year that you defer after your full retirement age, your benefit's going to go up by 8%. So applying that math, you take 0.2%, you multiply it by 12, we get 8%. If you multiply 1.08 by $3,000, you get $3,240. So if your full retirement age is 67, you wait until you're 68, primary insurance amount is ordinarily $3,000, you've permanently increased your benefit from $3,000 to $3,240. If you wait all the way until you're 70, you get a couple more years of delayed retirement credits, you wind up with $3,720 a month. So here's the million-dollar question. Should you be filing at age 66 or age 70 or maybe somewhere in between? The answer for you depends on the rest of your retirement and financial planning. The earlier you file, the lower your monthly benefit, but the more checks you're going to receive over your lifetime. The later you wait, the greater the checks, but the fewer you're going to receive over the rest of your life. So here's the math on this. If you are pretty confident that you're going to live into your early to mid 80s, it's generally better to wait until you're 70 if you can stomach it from a cash flow perspective. Because even though you're missing out on checks between age 66 and 70, you'll collect enough of those larger checks between age 70 and 83, 84 to make up for that difference. But if your health isn't so good, maybe you have a terminal disease and you don't expect to live much past your mid 70s, well, you should probably collect more checks earlier, even though they're smaller, if you don't expect to collect quite as many of them. Here's how this stuff plays out in real life. This is a real screenshot of our firm's financial planning software using the data from a hypothetical client that we came up with. When it comes to your own retirement planning, you want to map out all your assets and liabilities and income and expenses, and take inventory of where you're starting from. Then take a look at the different decisions you have in front of you. And for example, in this circumstance, this couple is trying to decide A, when to retire, B, whether to sell their vacation house, C, what the impact might be if they need to prevent financial support for their parents as they get older. And as you can see, we have this colorful chart here that shows cash flow implications. And it runs what's called a Monte Carlo analysis and gives us a big picture, quote unquote, chance of success, which is somewhat helpful. And when you're evaluating the decision for yourself, you should look at this from the perspective of the rest of your financial plan, not just Social Security alone. Because oftentimes it's better for people to wait to file because, again, if you're going to live into your mid 80s, it's generally better you maximize the value of your benefits that way, but that's not always the case. And there are a lot of variables where you might not want to, a lot of circumstances with variables where you might not want to. And for these two, if we toggle that on, the deferral of Social Security benefits from age 66 to 70, that simply means that they'll need to pull more money out of their savings at an earlier point. And even though they're collecting larger checks later, that actually hurts the rest of their retirement plan. So when it comes to making the decision for yourself, should you file at 66 or should you file at 70 or should you file anywhere in between, it needs to be viewed through the lens of the rest of your retirement income, tax, and investment and financial plan. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, make sure to hit the like button at the bottom of the screen and subscribe to the channel to make sure that you're notified anytime we come out with something new. On top of that, if you're not sure whether you're on track financially, you might want to check out our free wealth gauge assessment. There's a link for it in the comments. Basically, you click the link, you take 3 minutes to fill out some basic financial information about yourself. We take that information and run it through our financial planning software. Then we send you via email a short private video of our findings and 30,000-foot observation.